All right, in this video, I'm going to take you through the optional DeltaMath assignment 2.b.i quadratic formula, and I'm going to show you how to do a couple of each of these problems. So let's click on the first section. So in this section, I'm going to go ahead and start off by writing out our quadratic equation, and then we're going to have to make sure that we get it set equal to 0 before we try to solve anything. So I'm going to go ahead and add c squared to both sides. So I get 8c squared minus 2c minus 15 equals to 0. And then from here, we check and see if we can do a GCF. Now, your other default method that you can use, if you want to try it for these ones, since we have a leading coefficient that's greater than 1, you can always try the reverse box method. So if you feel more comfortable attempting that, feel free to go ahead and try that. But this video is for the quadratic formula, so I'm going to go ahead and show you how to use the quadratic formula for this one. So your actual quadratic formula, which it is very good to memorize because, for example, you don't get it on the SAT, but you might have to use it on the SAT. I won't be giving it to you on your tests at all, so it's good for you to know, is negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And we're going to go ahead and basically just fill in each piece here. Your a value, b value, and c value are right there. So a is 8, b is negative 2, and c is negative 15. All right, so I'm going to have negative b plus or minus b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Okay, and then we're going to work with simplifying some of this. So minus a negative 2 gives me a positive 2, plus or minus my square root. So negative 2 squared is 4. And then if you want to do negative 4 times 8 times negative 15, or if you wanted to do it all in a calculator all at once, yeah, let's go ahead and do that. That seems like it would be nicer for us. So if I did parentheses, negative 2 squared minus 4 times 8 times 15, I would get, negative 15, excuse me. I was like, I got the wrong answer. I got 484. So that's just putting all of this stuff in my calculator. Ignoring the square root, I'm just putting all of that stuff in my calculator, okay? And then on the bottom, I have 2 times my a value, which is 8. Oh, I don't know why I didn't plug it in up here. 2 times 8, which gets me 16. Ooh. Sorry, okay, just had to make it prettier. All right, so then now what we're going to do is we're actually going to take the square root of 484 and see if we get a nice number. We do, so then this turns into 2 plus or minus 22 over 16. Okay, and now since these I have something plus or minus something all over one number, I'm going to go ahead and this is where I'm going to split up my answer. So for one of my answers, I'm going to do the positive version of it, 2 plus 22 over 16, and then for the other answer, I'm going to do 2 minus 22 over 16 because I have that plus minus here, and so these will give me the two separate answers. So if I did 2 plus 22 over 16, that would give me 24 over 16, or in a more reduced fraction, that would give me, I believe, 3 over 2, right? They're both divisible by 8. Okay, so one of my answers is going to be 3 halves. The other answer is if I do 2 minus 22 over 16, that gets me negative 20 over 16, which is the same thing as negative, let's see, those are both divisible by 4. So I get negative 5/4 is my other option. All right, let's go ahead and try those. 3 halves, negative 5/4. And there you go. So you can see they go through the whole process. It's a little neater than my handwriting, but they go through the whole process as well for doing that. Okay, so those are the first set of problems. If I go ahead and try the next set of problems, we're going to do the exact same thing. So first thing you always got to do is get it set equal to 0. So I have 4v squared minus 15v plus 16 equals 6. So go ahead and subtract 6 from both sides, and I get 4v squared minus 15v plus 10 equals 0. There isn't a GCF that I can factor out. If you want to try reverse box method, feel free. We're going to go ahead and use our quadratic formula though. So again, writing it out, negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And then I can identify my a value is 4, b value is negative 15, c value is 10. So I have negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c all over 2 times my a value. All right, negative 15 would just give me 15 plus or minus, and then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stick all of this stuff, leaving the square root alone. I'm going to stick all of this stuff in my calculator. So when I do that, I get negative 15 squared, make sure I put that negative 15 in parentheses, minus 4 times 10. And I get 65, oops. It's an unnecessarily long square root, all over 8, because that's what 2 times 4 is. There we go. All right, and so then now I'm going to go ahead and try to simplify from here and try to do square root of 65. And then I get a gross decimal number, so I get like 8.062, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And because in math we want to be as precise and exact as possible, what we're going to do actually is we're just going to leave it like that. In Algebra 2, we did teach you how to like break down your 65 into other options, so like 5 times 13 and so on and so forth. But in pre-calculus, we're not really going to worry about that as much. That would be something that you would want to make sure you know for the SAT. But in my class, if you can get here, that's fine. This is a precise and exact answer, so I'm okay with it. So what we're going to do is we're going to just type this straight into here. So it'll be 15, and then they give you a little plus minus symbol. Square root, they give you a little square root symbol, 65. I'm going to do all of that over 8. And there we go. Perfect. All right, let's go look at the last type of problem you could see. All right, so in this one, it basically just gives you a multiple choice option. And so you're going to be doing the same exact setup and strategy, but then you're just going to go ahead and actually try to solve it and choose one of these as your answer. So you got 2x squared minus 11x plus 6 equals 0. That's already set equal to 0. That's nice. I don't have a greatest common factor I can pull out at all. And then I notice my leading coefficient is greater than 1. So if I wanted to try reverse box method, you're more than welcome to. But again, this is the quadratic formula piece. So I'm going to go ahead and do my quadratic formula. Negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. My a is 2, my b value is negative 11, and my c value is 6. So now let's go ahead and plug everything in. Negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Okay, minus a negative 11 gives me a positive 11. I'm going to go ahead and stick this whole set of numbers into my calculator. So when I do, I'll get plus or minus the square root of parentheses negative 11 end parentheses squared minus 4 times 2 times 6. Now I get 73 all over 4. And if you look, that's an answer right here. You can also double check and make sure that you can't square root at 73 at all. Yep, so I get a gross decimal when I try to do that. So this looks like it would be my option. And there you go. It helps you go on through. It might show you this part, the discriminant part. If you remember that from Algebra 2, that's the stuff underneath your square root. And you learn some precise information about the discriminant. So everything that I'm circling in yellow and sticking in my calculator, that's also known as the discriminant. Don't be thrown off by that at all. Okay, let me know if you have any questions. But other than that, nice job doing the optional assignment.